Boards. What's whiteboards? Got
Mm,
it.
I think we can like take notes and stuff on whiteboards. So,
Notes.
um, all right. So yeah, we're back on. We haven't been on here in a
We're back.
while.
It's been a couple months.
Like the whole summer, I think, because
Yeah.
we were busy doing that real estate thing, selling houses. So
Yeah.
that's
It's
good.
been
I have a
hot.
new setup, a new perspective now. You don't have to
Yeah.
stare at
I love it.
you don't have to stare at the back of my windows now. So
Looks a
hopefully
lot
it's a
better.
better look. And you can tell it's winter. Now I'm bundled up.
It's supposed to be winter here, but I'm in a t-shirt.
Well, Arizona's always in a t-shirt, aren't you? So
No, it's just we got like a hot, whatever it's called, come through. Today's 82, but then like Thursday, Friday, Saturday is supposed to be like high in the 60s.
I think
So
that's called the warm front.
warm front. Yeah.
Last week though, you were up in the mountains, right?
This weekend, yeah, I went up to Flag. So the cool thing about where I'm located, for those not familiar with Arizona, is Flagstaff is in the mountains. It's like 7,000 plus feet elevation, and it snowed. So they have like the Polar Express. I took my son to the Polar Express, and we got to sing songs and see Santa, and he got a little bell and all that stuff. So it was a good, and it's only a 2 hour drive, less than 2 hour drive up north. So it was like an hour and 45 minutes, and you're in the snow. So
Yeah,
that's
and then you
one of
come
my
back to
favorite things about.
Scottsdale and it's like 80 degrees, right?
And it's 80 degrees. Yeah.
Yeah, you're like
So
an
that
hour
was,
and a half back and you're back to 80 degrees. That's wild.
and we're back. So I had to pull out the big jackets I haven't worn in forever and all my winter gear, but it was fun. It snowed the first day we got there and then died out and was like probably like 50 when I left, which was nice, but great little weekend. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw pictures of you in like a whole
Oh
elastic
yeah.
parka, and it
My
was
fur
still
hood.
probably like 40 degrees, and you're in like three
That was
layers
actually pretty. That was
parka.
like it was in like it was probably low 30, maybe
Oh,
high
that is
20s when I
cold.
took that picture. It
Okay.
was cold. When I woke up the
Yeah, it's
next morning,
barely
it was
gotten that
20
cold here
degrees.
this year.
Yeah, it was really cold.
Yeah, we're a fourth of the way through winter here in Omaha. And I mean, it's we've averaged like 40 degrees this winter. We've gotten like one snow.
Well, don't jinx yourself.
Oh, it's January. So it's kind of funny. The only reason I put up with winter is for Christmas. But then we get like these whole I call them the pointless months of the year, January and February. And it'll like get brutally cold in January and February. That's when everybody leaves Nebraska to go to Arizona or like Mexico. So, and they say it's going to be like brutally cold the last 2 weeks of January. So
Mm,
I will be
come
goodbye.
visit.
Yeah, either there or like I'll be in Mexico or somewhere. Those all inclusives in Mexico are just fantastic.
Here we go. Now
So
we're
yeah,
talking.
that's going to be my game plan somewhere.
Heck
Because
yeah.
not a lot of people are looking at or buying houses in like negative 20-degree weather.
Yeah,
Because
I
if
could
you
see
think
that.
32 is cold, mhm.
Yeah, no, 30's pretty cold, 20's pretty cold, but when it's negatives, that's not fun at all.
No, it hurts your face.
Yeah, especially if there's wind.
And it's really hard to be fashionable. Yeah, when it's that cold.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, vibe for sure.
So yeah, how'd the year go?
Year was pretty
We're
good.
wrapping up the end of
Yeah,
the year.
we're
It's
kind
December
of
6th today, so we're gearing up with the end of quarter four. So we've had a lot going on this year. 7.5% interest rate. Well, basically 8% interest rates, right? So
mhm.
how'd the year go?
Year started out really, really good. First 6 months was right on track for my goals, and then things happened. I don't want to blame the market, but things slowed down a little bit, and I think they're gearing back up now. I got quite a few in escrow currently, so January is going to be a good month, but a little bit less than what I wanted to sell this year. But I think all in all, it was a good year for me personally. Not, I mean, business wise was fine, but I think I traveled every single month. Work life balance was amazing, and I had a really good year just personally, mentally, physically, all that stuff. Business was fine. Probably wasn't my best year ever business wise, but it was probably my best year ever, all things considered. So I'm happy with the way things are. I'm excited for this next year. I think having quite a few close in January gonna jumpstart me for 2024 and kind of see where it goes. So, how about you?
Follow-up question. What were the goals for 2023?
I wanted to do 20 million in sales.
And what'd you
That
do?
was kind of a stretch goal. I've never done that before. So,
What was your average year going into 2023?
um, it was probably between 10 and 15
Okay.
was kind of the average. And it's kind of skewed a little bit because I keep track of like our team goals and then like personal goals. And I think the last couple of years I was so focused on team production that I didn't really do a whole lot myself. It was more that side. So like our team, I think the most we did as a team was like 23 million. And that was like 5 of us selling. So probably 10 million of that was mine. And then the rest was kind of scattered a little bit. But so I really wanted to focus on just my personal
Hmm.
goal to do 20 million. It was definitely a stretch goal. And I should close right around like the 12 or 13 million mark for the year. So still a decent year, but I mean, I kind of think all things considered, it was a really good year just for my mental health and physical and all that. But
Was there like
obviously,
a
you always want to sell
new,
more.
was there like a new challenging type of sale you did this year that you've never done before?
The first one that comes off the top of my head was that manufactured home
Yeah.
in a mobile home park it was $120,000 or 125, I can't remember. But the seller was very difficult to work with. And I went in that with the intent of helping her and like, hey, this is obviously it's not about the money, but I'm here to help you in your next chapter of your life and blah, blah, blah. And it turned out to be like probably the most stressful deal I had the entire year. And it was honestly, it was probably the first time I really like fired a client at the end of it all.
Oh no.
Yeah, it turned out to be like not a good thing. And that was not fun. We could we could literally have a whole episode on just that, but I don't want to call her out. I
Did
don't
it
want to
ever
be the guy that
close?
it closed, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Um, but it was like the worst. She was not a good person, or at least she's maybe mentally unstable and just wasn't. I'm trying to be nice here. She just wasn't in touch with reality for a lot of things and a lot of
Okay.
reasons. And that was like I lost my patience.
Mm,
And I'm a pretty patient person, and I don't usually get super emotional with deals, but this one was like, okay, we're done. Like
mm.
yeah, it was, yeah. But yeah,
That's
that was
actually
probably
like a
the,
whole that's like a whole episode that we should have is that realtors in general just actually don't understand that that's actually what we get paid to do is not be emotionally attached to
yeah,
real estate at all. Um, like I I told this gal on my team that, we're actually like the CEOs of real estate transactions. Because sometimes when people ask us like why we get paid what we get paid, like when you look at some deals, I even look at like some paychecks I get and I'm like, wow, that
hmm
was entirely too much money for what I just did in that situation. And then sometimes you're like, that was a negative per hour
yeah, 1,000%.
basis there. But over the course of a year, they all average out, right? But when you look at like your job is you're up here and you're supposed to manage title, lender, client, mostly the other agent, because most of the time you're kind of having to manage them too. Everybody involved, right? And it's like one of my biggest pet peeves is when like all of agents call me that I'm not even involved in another deal. And they'll be like pissed off because it's like a week before closing and they're like representing the buyer side or whoever, and they're like, "Oh my god, we're not going to close on time," and they're pissed off and they're yelling, and I'm like, "Well, whose fault's that?" And they're like, "They're everybody else's fault, theirs, right?" And I'm like, "Well, no, it's not. It's yours." And they're like, "Well, what do you mean it's my fault?" And they're like, "No, it's not. It's the lender's fault. It's this person's fault." And I'm like, "No, it's not. It's yours." I'm like, "Who gets paid the most in this transaction?" And they're like, "Well, me." I'm like, "You're right. It's you. So whose fault's that again? It's yours, right? Because like, who has the most to lose in this whole deal?
Yeah.
You." And I'm like, "Did you call the lender every week? Did you call title every week? Did you call everybody to make sure everybody's doing what they're supposed to do?" Or did you just kind of sit there during the entire 30 to 45 day process and just expect that every single person, every adult was doing what they're supposed to do? Because if
Yeah.
not, then you really weren't doing what you're supposed to do. Because,
Yeah.
we can't just like write this document, turn it in, and then expect that everybody's doing what they're supposed to do, because most of the time they don't. And
Yeah. And I think
so,
the good
and then
agents,
that, and then like emotions, right? Like we're supposed to take emotions out of a deal, because that's why people hire us, because it's generally not smart for the two sides of any transaction to talk to each other. Now, in some
Mhm.
cases, I found that it's better for two sides to just get in the same room and talk to each other, but that's not the normal. Uh,
Yeah.
but that's again one of the reasons that we get paid, is to take that emotion out of a deal, and
Yeah.
then
And solve problems.
and you do
Solve all
that
the
by
problems.
not having emotions involved. And so,
Hmm.
but yeah, so we could have an entire episode about that.
We should. I think that would be good. Bring a couple examples of
Because I have a
the good
lot
of
of
the bad, the ugly,
I have a
all
lot
the
of those.
golly. I know that was probably my worst. I say worst. It was probably the most stressful for me personally this year, was dealing with that lady. Um,
Bummer.
but other than that, I mean, then you get the good ones. Then you get some that are just like slam dunk, easy, no appraisal, or it's cash or something, and it's just like inspection's good, close in 3 weeks, and everyone's happy. So take the good with the bad, and
I'm lucky because the majority of mine are those.
well, that's good.
Yeah, I don't
I mean,
know.
I think you get a good sense of how a deal's going to go from the get go, or like when you first meet the client. And I think we're at a point like where if somebody is just not vibing with us, then we're just not going to work with them. And I
So I'm
think
a big
that,
fan, and I actually want to create, not just for real estate agents, but I want to create like the human disclosure, based off of like the seller property disclosure that people have to fill out. Whether it's like dating or like real estate clients or just clients in general. And it could just be like a digital app, you fill it out, like how you want to be communicated with, like, you know, past experiences, who you've dated in the past, right? If it's like a dating disclosure, but just past like real estate agent, whatever the case may be, right? And you just fill it out. Because I think that would help anybody in like a sales role or just anything, what you're used to, right? And I
yeah,
think that would help us be like, how do you handle this? How do you handle that? How many times do you like to be communicated with, like in a day, or just anything like that, right? Because we don't know. We meet this stranger in an open house, or we're referred to this person. I don't know. Maybe they're used to being responded to in like 5 minutes. Maybe they don't care. Because like most of my clients, they generally hire me because they're just used to Michael just handles everything, right?
yeah,
Because I do. That's why they hire me. They're all busy executive type of people. So they just want me to just handle things. And then there's some people who are like, I have not heard from you in a week. And they're like, what the hell is that about? And then I'm like, oh, well, I've done this, this, and this. Everything's taken care of, Bob. And then they're like, oh, cool. But I didn't know that. And then I'm like, well,
yeah,
that's my bad. But yeah, everything's handled. And then
yeah,
just like, yes, yeah, I didn't know that you wanted to be told all that, because I thought you're like flying around the world doing your job. I didn't think you needed to be told that. So, it's like I probably need to do a better job of just like getting to know that about those
yeah.
people. So,
That'd be a smart thing to get done, like when you first sit down with somebody, like their consult, and
so
say, "Hey, here's
I have,
yeah,
we're developing an app, um, for me and my team, that'll actually kind of do that. It's like an onboarding thing. It's kind of it'll be a welcome experience. So like on top of asking them like what their favorite holidays are, and like their kids' names and what kind of pets they have and their birthdays and things like that. It's going to talk about like their preferred method of contact and all that kind of stuff. And we're still tweaking it, like what kind of questions it should ask, but like it's going to ask questions like that too. Similar to like your doctor's office asks you all those questions too, and you go in there and things like that.
mm-hmm.
So we're kind of bringing that same experience here.
So
So we're hoping to be able to launch it, in January. And then just whenever you bring on a new client, whether they're random person you just met or a referral or whatever, you just, you'll send them the link, they'll fill it out, and then it'll automatically, those questions will get sent, like the answers to the questions will get sent to your CRM, so it'll all get saved. Um, and then, it's up to the agent how they want to utilize it, but it's just kind of a nice little, it welcomes them to the experience, if you
heck
will.
yeah,
It's kind of
that's
cool.
smart. I need to do something like that.
Yeah, I'll send you the people that created ours. It's not, I mean, it's
Well,
nothing.
even if it's just a list, and you can just make it.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
mean,
it
it can be
might
on,
be
I
that.
mean, it can
Yeah.
be on paper, it can be a spreadsheet, you can
Yeah.
call them and go through it or whatever. Ours just, it wasn't, I mean, it was a couple grand to get it created. It wasn't super expensive either, and it's just hosted with our website, but it's not a public facing thing either, so
Yeah.
it's pretty inexpensive, but, you know, we have 16 people, so it was a lot, I mean, it was more worth it to create it for us, because there's gonna get a lot more usage out of it, so, but
Yeah.
again, you can just call people and ask the same things, so.
Oh,
But again, like, that leads to, like, same thing you just brought up, like, you know, we just get going so fast in our industry that, like, we forget all of those things and all those, we forget all those things in our experience, right? Like, we forget to create an experience because we get going so
yeah.
quick in real estate. We want to go out and show those houses, and we get so excited about showing houses and getting a new client and selling houses and doing all that, that we forget, like, how does this person want to be communicated with? And obviously we want to treat everybody with, like, you know, the same sort of process and everything else, but maybe somebody doesn't want to be phone called or text message, and maybe they want to be the reverse and whatever, right?
Yeah.
So, so yeah.
Yeah. No, I think that's great. How was your year?
I will be, my goal every year is about 30 million. Um, I think I'll finish the year at 27 million. So
Nice.
I, a little bit different for me. I normally try and do about 70 transactions, and this year I'll probably be at about 45. So I had a much higher sales
Price
price, which
point.
I'm not mad at.
Yeah.
Um, Similar to you, I mean, I went all over the country this year. Um, just, I mean, between you and other friends of mine, I just kind of went everywhere every month. Got a lot of judgment for that, however, from a lot of different people. But I kind of had what I nicknamed Party Boy Summer. Just kind of went all over from, went to Mardi Gras in New Orleans and my birthday in Nashville, and went to Arizona a handful of times, and just had fun this year.
Good.
So, the team has really kind of allowed me to just step away and put things in control with other people, which is a huge personal step for me to be able to hand over control to other people. Um, I'm really not one that can hand over control, so that's a huge step for me. So I'm really glad about that. I mean, obviously, that's a huge goal of mine, is to be able to, like, let this team kind of run itself, and be able to kind of bounce around more into different markets and different areas, and not have to be here all the time.
Yeah.
And so that this year was kind of a test run for that. So super excited about that. Just kind of got a lot of personal things kind of under control, like just some projects that I was working on, and kind of, getting those in order this year. So that was good, and just kind of getting some health things under control for me this year. So a lot of those things kind of happened in unison. So all in all, great year for me. Um, so yeah.
Heck yeah. I love to hear it. I know I've been a part of that journey with you, and gosh, you've made some drastic changes in the year that I've met you. I mean, mostly like physically. How much weight have you lost? Do you know?
I don't know, kind of varies, 60 to 70 pounds.
It's amazing.
Yeah. So that, I mean, that's probably the biggest change of this year.
Yeah.
So
Heck yeah.
I mean, I've kind of like struggled with weight on and off my whole life. So hopefully, well, I know this time I'll keep it up. I mean, that's the most drastic weight loss I've had, I think, my whole life. I mean, I've never been this skinny since since like before high school. So, I'm the
Hell
happiest
yeah.
now since
Love
probably
it.
ever. So, so yeah, I mean, I know everybody says that, but I mean, it's makes everybody a lot happier. You have so much more energy.
Heck
You
yeah.
focus on so many different, you can focus on much better things besides just that. And you're a lot happier and a lot more focused. So,
Yeah. Confidence is up. Like, you feel good about yourself. Like, you wake up excited to do whatever it is you're going to do that day. And
mhm,
I don't know, big believer in all that. And I think that's amazing that you're doing it,
for
because
sure.
it's
So
one
yeah,
thing to say it. The other thing is to make it happen.
right. Well, and they're
So
just, I mean, and you and I are on that thing now where we kind of slowed down on it. We're supposed to have listened to 5 of them by the end of the year. It's almost the end of the year, but we're almost through 2. But we could
well, two and a half.
no.
The second one we kind of this is our
Well, yeah,
third book.
but I mean, again, that's kind of our challenge. The second book
Yeah.
sucked, so we skipped that, but that's okay. So
Yeah.
we started this. We kind of took recommendations from other people about 5 audiobooks, and that's what's fun about your own challenge is if you don't like one of them, you can punt it and move on. So the second audiobook, I don't remember the name of it, but it wasn't great. And some of them, some of it to me kind of came down to the narration of it, and that just wasn't the guy's voice kind of sucked, and it just wasn't my vibe. So we moved on.
Yeah.
From that. Like I think the message was okay, but the narration just wasn't great, so we moved on. But first book, great if you kind of understood the message and how that was going, and that also was just I think that'll be like a great topic for another day. We can kind of talk
Mhm.
about both books. And current book is awesome by Lewis House, and
Yeah. Great book. I love it.
all about greatness mindset. If anybody's read that book, and um, kind of just about coaching too, and just about having a positive mindset, which is awesome because I think any self-starting career that is probably the biggest struggle to being where you need to be in life. I think. Um, I mean, we have to choose every day to get up and come to work and be in a good spot, right? And especially now, I mean, you know this with the team, and I know this with the team. I mean, if I was in a bad mood, I can come into my office and be in a bad mood, and I can't do that anymore, right? Like I,
Yeah.
I have to be a great positive inspiration now to 16 people every day, and I can't just come in here and like slam my door and be upset and be angry. But the cool part about that is like, because I have those people now that I have to like be that positive mindset for, like I have to be that same person for myself too. Um,
Yeah.
so uh, me being that for them, I can't be negative for myself either. So that helps me too.
Heck
So
yeah.
anyway, that book's been huge. So I think we could talk about that too, like later
Yeah.
on.
I think I want to buy the hard copy because there's a lot of prompts and stuff in there.
Oh yeah, totally. Like
That,
I'm like in
and
my
I,
kitchen, like
yeah.
I'll say making dinner because that means I throw it in my air fryer. And he's like, take out your workbook. And I was like, I don't have a workbook. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
yeah,
I think it'd be
definitely,
great
like
to
you
go
said,
through all that
like,
because there's a lot of good prompts and just like,
yeah,
hey, write down
I
this
don't know that
stuff.
I'm
And
gonna like actually read because I'm not much of a reader, but for sure gonna listen to it again with said workbook and actually like do the. I've taken out like my notepad and like taken notes and stuff, but I need to actually do a better job of that now that I know like when the prompts are gonna or when they're
yeah.
gonna come up.
Yeah. I think
But
a
yeah,
lot of
there's
it
a
is just
ton
like
of
kind of getting clarity on your life and where you struggle and where you can improve, but then also like where you're great and
mhm.
what do you want to focus on and all that, which I think is super helpful, especially in our business too, because it's like you can do real estate so many different ways and like get clear on what you like to do and what you enjoy and what you're good at and just kind of focus on that route and go from
Yeah,
there.
and I think like the coolest part about that book, you just touched on it, is a lot of those, I don't know, we'll call it self-help. We'll call it like a self-help type of book. Is those books are very much about like you suck at everything, read this book, figure out how to like be great at everything, right? Like this book is not that. This book is really
Mm-hmm.
good at like, hey, I'm good at a lot of things. Let's figure out how to like turn it up to the next level and how to
Yeah.
be great at a lot of things, right? And it really does help you figure out how to do that. Because I think a lot of books aren't they're just not great at that.
Yeah.
So that's why I mean, and this book is like it's really easy to listen to. It's really easy to understand and kind of connect with. And
Definitely.
he's a great narrator. So
Yeah.
I found that to be really helpful. So
Yeah.
so we got to catch up to we got like what 24 days to go. How many days are in December? 30, 31, I think.
Yeah. Let's see. Today's the 6th. We got a good 1, 2, 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks.
Probably not gonna get there, but we'll see.
Well, I'll be able to I honestly like on my way to LA this weekend. That's a solid 5 hour drive. I can knock out a book on the way up there and on the way back.
I'm real honest with myself. We'll see. We'll see. I don't know. we'll see. But I bet we can get to 4, but I don't know.
Well, we're almost done with this one, right? How much
Yeah, I
more
mean,
do you got?
I'm halfway through chapter 10. I think there's 12 chapters, so we'll
Let me
see.
see. I'm on chapter
Well, we
11
only
of
have to
this.
get through 2 more because there's only 4 now because we dumped the second one. So we're technically on book 3.
Yeah.
Now, if we truly wanted to like be champions of this whole little mission, we would slide in a 5th book since we were supposed to do 5. But
Well, we can try. We can go
well,
for it. I just don't want to like rush through something and just to say
oh
we
no,
got through it. That's the other side of it.
I
But
agree. I agree. I'm
no, this
just
is a good one though.
if I get through 4 books, that'll probably be more than I've actually read in my entire life.
really.
I hate reading of any
That's a fun
kind. I
fact.
actually only read so I can fall asleep.
Huh.
Yeah.
I enjoy it if it's the right type of book. I think I used to read quite a bit. My whole goal, I got boxes of books
Mm.
in my garage, and I really want like a huge library one day, just like tons of cool books.
I want a library solely for like the backdrop and the design,
Yeah.
not to read.
Well, yeah,
So my
a little
client
bit of
is
both.
actually going to do this really cool. They they bought all these books for this library in this house they were building, and he had them all categorized on this iPad. And when you walked into the room, you were going to be able to select like the category, like mystery, biography, presidential, like whatever. And then it was going to show you where in the room it was. I think it was even going to like light up with like LED, like on the shelf.
Jeez,
You could go find it. I was like, oh my God. And
that's
then you could get
crazy.
it. It was wild. And you could like check it. There was like an app or whatever, and you could go. And then it was going to like, if you read it, you could like review it and it would give you like reviews from other people. It was crazy.
Dang. Yeah,
But
that's a
I'm
little.
not much of a reader. So,
Yeah, the
but then what
audiobooks are
I
good.
struggle with though, because Arizona's so big, like you could be in the car for like 45 minutes to an hour at a time, right?
Yeah,
Me, I'm not. Like the most I'm in the car for is like 15 minutes. So I'm not going to listen to an audiobook for like 15 minutes at a time. Like I have to
yeah,
have enough time to listen to like a whole chapter. Otherwise, I'm not going to listen to it because I'll probably forget like what the first half of the chapter was about. So, and then like if I'm at home and I'm like sitting on my couch just listening, I'm like, what do I do with my hands? It's like Ricky Bobby. Like I'm like, what do we do with my hand? Like I don't know what to do.
yeah,
Like I have to have like some, and like when it's nice, I can like go for a run or something. It's fine. But like when I'm just sitting at home, I don't know what to do. So I have to have like something to do that's also not too distracting that I have to think too much
yeah.
about. So it's like, and I understand this is excuses, people, but like
Uh-huh.
I don't know what to do.
Full
I
of
can't just like
excuses.
sit there because
That's
then
all
my
these are.
if I'm just sitting there listening to an audiobook, then my brain is just thinking of other shit at the same time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I usually
it's like
listen
it's
to
just
it in the
like driving
car.
circles around the city.
Yeah, that'd be a
I'm
waste.
just going up
Huh.
and down the interstate listening to an audiobook.
Yeah, yeah, I don't know. It's either at the gym for me or it's in the car on the way to the office or showing a house. God, I got a house closing in a city called Maricopa, which is like a solid hour and
What does Maricopa stand for? Like, what's that word mean?
no idea. So like what's weird is we have like
Really?
Maricopa County. I have no idea what it means. It's a great question. Maricopa County is like our county, like Phoenix, like the greater Phoenix area. But then we have a city called Maricopa, which is like mm, it's south, like west of Phoenix, kind of towards Tucson, but like it's more west than Tucson. But yeah, so I am in the car a lot. I do drive quite a bit.
There's no meaning, according to my
Yeah,
quick Google
there's no
search.
meaning. Yeah, I've never heard of anything,
Anyway,
but
I thought
who
that was like
knows?
a,
Fun
I thought that
fact.
was like a word.
But yeah, so
Fun
it's
fact for people visiting Arizona: Maricopa County has no legal limit to drinking and driving.
really
You didn't
no
even
at
know that?
point oh 0.07, no point oh
No,
0.06 and
no,
below is the legal limit.
no, no,
Is that new?
no. It's been that way for a long time.
I don't know. I might
No,
have to fact check you on that one.
no, there isn't one. Fact check me and get back to me, because no, there isn't one.
I'm pretty positive it's
No,
0.07.
no,
If you're 0.07 or above,
no,
they're the legal limits under
no.
0.07.
It's 0.08 here, but in Maricopa County, there isn't one.
Maricopa. Oh,
According
look it up.
to what?
What is it called? Blood alcohol level?
Yeah, that's like around the country, but in Maricopa County, there isn't one. According to
Arizona lot.
that pulled me over like 3 years ago.
What did he tell you?
That
That if you have 0.01 alcohol, I mean, I guess theoretically they can arrest you.
it's basically in Maricopa County, it's their discretion on anything over like 0.0.
Yeah, that makes sense. But like the legal limit,
There
it is
isn't a
illegal to
legal limit.
drive with a blood alcohol level content of 0.08 or higher. However, even lower alcohol levels can affect driving ability.
No.
I'm looking at maricopacountyattorney.org.
Well, then the last cop lied to me.
I think he lied to you because
We'll edit that part out of the podcast. Then I don't want to get people.
point two oh point it is illegal to drive with blood alcohol content BAC of 0.08 or higher. However, even lower alcohol levels can affect driving ability. Crazy enough, my cousin just got an extreme DUI.
Extreme DUI. What does that mean?
Extreme. I think extreme is double the legal limit.
Whoa.
And he crashed his car somehow. Didn't hurt anybody, but he like
So he was like 1.6.
0.16.
Holy shit.
Yeah,
Wow.
not good.
Yeah, we'll have to edit that
He's
part out.
20. How
Lord.
old is he? 23, 24. I'm like, dude, like what are we doing here? Like, it's a good thing he didn't hurt himself
Yeah, that's like a
or
life
hurt somebody
ruiner.
else. But the reason the cops came, I guess, because he couldn't start his car and like his car was just like, I don't know what happened. I don't know all the details,
Yeah,
but
that's like a life ruiner.
yeah, that's a life changer, that's for sure.
Wow.
So I'm just glad he didn't hurt anybody
Yeah, me too. Lord.
because that would have been a life ruiner.
Oof.
But anyways,
God.
yeah. So LA this weekend, huh?
Yes, sir.
Should be a good time. I'm excited to get to I know it's supposed to be pretty nice out there, so just get out of
I know.
this one thing I've really focused on this year was like work really hard and then just like get away for a little bit. Take a little break,
Well, and this
recharge.
really does not fit into this, whatever we'll call it of mine, but I've kind of been a fan of these like quick trips. This is not
Yeah.
that mode because I'm going there for like 3 days and then back to Arizona for like
Yeah.
or whatever. But I mean, I can like work from Arizona, so it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
But I
Well,
mean,
you can
like,
work.
like I've gone to Nashville 3 times this year and they were like 3-day trips. And I've been, like New Orleans, it was 3 days. Like I've gone on a lot of these like 3-day trips, which is great.
Yeah.
Because how people go, like, again, like how people go to like Jamaica for like 13 days. I'm like, how do you do that? Because I'm like,
A lot of
because
planning.
like I have to work the whole time. Because I'm like,
Yeah.
because if I come back and I've been away from my phone for 13 days, I'm like, that's a brutal nightmare to come back to that. That sounds god
That's
awful.
impossible.
Because then I am more stressed out.
Yeah. And then you're thinking about it the whole time you're
Well, yeah,
on
I should. I
vacation.
just by that
Vacation.
point I should have just never gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, these quick trips are great. And
Oh, I mean, they're great for this. You hang out for a little while, you get just enough relaxation, then you come back home. And I mean, honestly, like anytime I go like on a trip anyway, like every morning, check emails for like 20 minutes, just make sure I'm checking in on things. And honestly, like I still get enough relaxation during the day. Really doesn't
yeah.
matter. Like, again, these people that just like turn off their phone, like you don't need to do that. Like we're in an industry like where you probably need to check in every day, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's better for your business because clients need to be touched every day. So like whatever, do that, check in. Even if it's delegating to people like on my team, it's like get this done today, blah blah blah. Here's my 20 minutes of the day. I'm gonna go to the beach, and then that's it.
Heck yeah.
And
Yeah.
and then you're
No,
just, and
big
then, and then
believer
you're
in that.
done. You feel like you did your work for the day, and then you're good to go.
Yep.
Cause if
Yeah,
you
so
can
the
like solve a very big problem that could have been avoided because you worked for 20 minutes in the morning, great.
yeah,
Anyway,
love that.
that's that. Oh yeah, this was good today.
It
So
was good. I like it. I'm glad to get back into it, and
yeah, me
yeah, the new
too.
setup looks good.
So
I
we'll
like
probably
it.
be back in 2 weeks because I'm gonna be in Arizona next week.
Well,
So
we could do it in person next week.
oh yeah, that'd be dope.
Just sit next. I mean, you might have to bring your own. I mean, my thing can
I ain't bringing
fit a.
nothing because this is far too hard. Mhm.
Well, I was just gonna say the microphone itself, but I could probably get a microphone for my brother or something
Yeah, it's whatever. It's not a big
or
deal.
whatever. We'll figure it out. But yeah,
Yeah.
man, I'm excited. This was good, and I think what we should do moving forward is kind of come up with a game plan. Either if it's every other week, have a topic, have an agenda, and
Yeah,
start putting some stuff out there.
I'm going to I'm just gonna stop the recording and we can just chit chat for a minute.
Okay.